Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Purbani Chaudhary, and with me today I have my Senior Delivery Manager, Mr. Satish Sridharan, and we will be taking you through this CMDB data accuracy case study. At Wipro, we believe in this value creation. And what is it that we can go ahead and bring to the table when we discuss our initiatives with the customer has always given us an edge over the other vendors that they chose. And this baby step has actually resulted into a 25 years of a partnership. And it's going heavily, steadily forward. And with this approach, I will quickly take you through what was the problem in this pandemic that we went through. All right. So during the COVID, the first and the foremost thing that came up was the end users of our customers, right? The employees were not able to return the assets. And what kind of assets? They were probably the assets which were end of life, or probably they had been terminated or they had resigned, and they were supposed to return these assets to our asset management team. And what was the other aspect of it? Because of this problem that our customer, the business was liable to pay a continuation charges till about the end of the lease to the vendor. And that not only stopped there, there was a problem with an additional buyout cost also, if at all we are not able to trace the asset. So this was the only problem that we saw. But why did we choose this project? While we were having a good metric, all processes were green. It was because at Wipro, we wanted to go ahead and find a way, help our customer, give a better perspective towards a stronger forecasting of the surplus stocks, because that was a challenge for us. We were not able to go ahead and rotate the assets, whichever assets that had an end of life left. We were not able to do that. So demand and giving up, meeting up those demand during the COVID, as well as giving a right forecasting, helping our business give the right forecasting was something that we were very keen towards. And we took a Six Sigma approach, yes, definitely. But while we were in the analyze phase of the Six Sigma, we really saw that there was an additional problem. What was that additional problem? We saw that close to about 3,052 assets out of 140K assets that were there, they were not even tracking in the network. Now, you might ask me that, okay, what is the benefit? When we went ahead, we said that, hey, you know what, business, you will not have to, if you go ahead and collaborate with us on this particular project, you will not really have to go ahead and pay these continuation charges or the buyout charges. We will make sure that, can we do some process enhancements towards these avoidance? Can we go ahead and help you the forecasting plus? And in the end to end, if you look at a cycle, we will be able to help your end user customer satisfaction. So as the approach was a DMAC, we went ahead, looked at the project CTQ, internal CTQ, and of course the customer and the business CTQ. While a deep dive, a bit of stats around why we chose this project. Again, customers were unhappy. We had to look into it, as a result of which the stock was a problem. During the COVID situations, all those EOLs that were approaching could not be given back to us. We couldn't use those assets into this swap processes or into the loaner. As a result, there was a policy roadblock as well. Now, what is this policy? After 3 times, if a user is not responding back and not returning the assets, we are not supposed to go ahead and reach out to them. As a result, our business is paying out the buyout cost, and that directly impacted the dollar value. Now here, because of the confidentiality, we have gone ahead with only $100 as a baseline. And what do you see as a 65 assets was the baseline done for 21 weeks as a DMAC. And that is where at a 99% accuracy, we found that 65 assets were marked as lost. And then, of course, came the rocket that was the COVID. We already knew that we had challenges in terms of asset shipping process. We had problems with our repair process also. A quick view in terms of how did we arrive, or what were the factors that were contributing to these 65 was this, that if the user chooses not to answer directly after weeks, we don't even touch those. That has given us this problem. Secondly, if you look at if the users is giving us a response, they claim that we have already returned the asset and it doesn't even land to us. That was a problem. Second problem is whoever the user is, or let's say the user is terminated and the manager does not even know where the asset is, or it has been lost in their possession, or during the natural calamity, which is an uncontrollable scenario, you can't do anything about it. There was a one little other factor to it, that the asset was returned, but due to certain challenges, we had laptops missing from the stock room. Now, let me take you to the strategic approach that we have taken in order to address the assets that were missing from the network, because that was a bigger problem. There is something going missing in the infrastructure if your assets are not being discovered by your discovery tool. So we went ahead, we created a team across all 3 geos, and we said that we will try 4 weeks of strategy. Let's go 100%. We'll make an attempt to make sure that we touch them. We created emails and templates and web chats. We went ahead. When the response was received, we gave solutions. What was the problem? Do you have the asset? Please return it to us. Do you want to go ahead? You have the asset and it is not being registered. We helped them with the registration. Discovery tool helped us. We got them there. What if they were not responding to us? We filtered it out and we pushed the same mechanism to week 2, week 3, and week 4. What was the resultant of these 12 weeks? Like, remember I said across all 3 geos. So we had to go ahead and approach it in such a way so that our operations are not impacted. And with that strategy, what was the outcome? The outcome was 36.1% was back in network, 28%. Now we have a clarity that this is uncontrollable because they are out of our network working somewhere remote. Of course, the 20% that you see, we're still struggling with, they're not responding to us. 11% almost was back to the stock, and we returned it back also. So here was a true saving out here. We also had a very minimal factor of 1.2 being lost, and 3% where there's an asset locker. At least we had a visibility, and 0.6 was a terminated user. Now we also looked at where, remember, we in the flowchart we saw that the users were claiming that we have returned, but you guys have not received. That was our problem. When we dived down, we saw Aimer was contributing to that. So we quickly went ahead in collaboration. Now, let me tell you, it was not as quick. It took almost 3.5 months for us to firefight the situation, because we had to involve HR into a process. Along with, we had to go ahead and bring in the actual courier people who would be involved, because we were not having that control. So we took our business into confidence, Wipro into confidence, and all of these team collaborated. We created a template. We made sure that HR agrees to our understanding. And we said that this template, this was the mistake proof that we said. We made every terminated employee sign this, that within your termination 7 days, you're supposed to return the asset. We also went one step beyond and we created an automation. In this automation, what did we do? Simple PDCA we had followed, and we created this bot. And what does this bot do? It mistake proofs. It tells you that your environment, your PC is your environment, right? We do the entire business. Your PC is not in track. Click here. Please run these fixes. Please do this. Please do that, to make sure that these assets that we're not tracking in the network, every user does not have to call the help. That is the problem. Through this bot, we are pushing all user awareness, all possible system related user awareness, and thereby we are mistake proofing these incidents as well. Now here comes the bigger learning. The first and the foremost challenge of this project team was, it was an unknown territory for us. And when I say unknown territory, we had a lot of HR policies, and the policies were so strict that our business could have been sued. The end users have every right to go ahead and sue. So we had to learn country by country the land of the law. We had to learn custom laws. Something that opened up during this project that we had to, in Pakistan and Egypt, and this is just for starters, that there's an embassy seal. They had to go through that embassy seal. And of course, it opened up the alternative solutions as well in terms of how we deployed, what were the alternative options. So here is where I give back my, the torch to Mr. Satish Sridharan, and he's going to take us the operations. Over to you, Satish.
Perfect. Thanks, Prabhani. Overall, while we speak about how we have managed this entire situation, how do we sustain this and how do we keep informing the customer where we stand? So that's where the governance model was put in place, both in terms of from a quarterly review and a monthly review. Visual dashboards were created, which is circulated via Tableau to the customer, where they have a realistic view on where the standing is, which area they can improve. Now, while the governance is in place, this particular project has flown miles across with regards to the customer. In fact, incidentally, yesterday we completed our QBR, and the entire account was appreciated on the measures taken. So another positive aspect in and around this is because of such initiatives. This is one of the 6-7 projects that we have done for this customer. We are awarded with a 200 million 3-year contract. Basis our good work that we have done. Now, what you see on the screen is during the time of COVID, during the time of pandemic, across geos, what have we done in terms of keeping the engine running rather than bringing it to a grinding halt? Mr. Sanjay called out earlier that every system, everybody has to be in front of laptop, and if the laptops are not delivered on time, imagine how everything will come to a grinding halt. So net to close loop this particular customer has appreciated to the core in terms of what we have done over and above, and the end result of this project, from a dollar value perspective, close to about 900K annually is what we have saved.
12 minutes.
That's it. We are done from here. Just want to take one last minute to showcase what the appreciations that we have received from end customers.
Please allow us a 30-second. I would want to go ahead and share, the video testimony that we have received. Just give me 1 minute. Satish, please let me know if it is playing okay.
We can't hear the audio. I think you have to share with the audio. You have to stop sharing, and while you share the screen, there's an option called with audio as well.
All right, looks like there's some problem, but then yeah. So net, that is what it is. The customer had given us 200 million is more than that, and whom you see on the video was the actual sponsor who had given us the appreciation even on yeah.
Thank you.
Here is the guy for us. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So I leave it for jury to ask any questions.
Hi, this was a nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just have one question for you. What do you attribute this problem to, when it was created? Do you attribute this to a lack of SLA because, some of these things look like should have been in place by default? Do you attribute this to lack of formal SLAs and the required SLAs and now a correction required? That's part A of the question. And, how is that part taken care apart from the reiteration and the awareness that you're creating? Is there a policy level change or a process that you put in place now, apart from whatever you've shown, which will ensure that you don't have to repeat some of these things again?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. So the first question that you said, lack of formal SLA, it is not an SLA perspective. We have enough CMDB related SLAs when it comes to, looking after the asset validations and stock validations and all of that. And we're doing pretty much green with 24 months of green account. But what was more important is when we took the transition, layer by layer, we had problems. And this particular account, this particular business had made sure that we always go beyond with a value add. Because here we were not only looking after the VOC, we did that VOC, we had sustained. If you look at the earlier slides, we had sustained. But then the challenge was over here, if you ask me from a policy standpoint, that was bang on, because here is the learning. No project has looked into land of the law. No project that we have done, we had looked into the custom laws. These were the unknown territories that we ventured. The biggest roadblock was the HR, because HR consists of the policy. HR said, no, you cannot go ahead and do it. While we were equipped with the operations, while we were equipped with the, the bot teams were there, the automation teams were there. But how do you shift that mindset? We were catering to 150 K users.
Yeah.
So that was the key.
In addition to that, Umesh, this is more of a culture change, because for the last 20-25 years, that's the process that they're following. And the reason why Wipro as an organization was awarded this project is they are looking for transformation. They're looking for help. Come and tell us, as Wipro as a big organization, you've dealt with multiple customers. Come and tell us, help us out in how do we streamline this. And that's where this project kind of evolved. Hope that answered.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your presentation once again.
Thank you.
All the
Thank
best.
you. The entire team is here. Thank you, Lokesh and Naren, for doing this wonderful. Hope we've learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.